Ladies and gentlemen, I take pride in introducing the greatest show on earth.
Welcome to the Uncle Floyd Podcast. My name is Scott Gordon. Uncle Floyd Vivino and I join up for this podcast to discuss our time with the Uncle Floyd Show, music, theater, nightclubs, carnivals, circus, amusement parks, burlesque, and all things showbiz from our combined industry experience of over 120 years through the past 7 decades. We also answer questions that are emailed to ufpodcast@sge-inc.com. You will find that address and a link to support this podcast in the episode description. Join Uncle Floyd and me, Scott Gordon, now for this episode of the Uncle Floyd Podcast.
Right, we can do this whenever you want.
I'm ready right now.
You ready right now? All right, then we're doing podcast number 6.
Okay.
Number 6. And we got questions from the people.
Good evening or good afternoon, good morning, whatever time it is, wherever you are. I'm Uncle Floyd, Scott Gordon, my engineer and trusty bon voyant. What does a bon voyant actually do?
Bon voyant.
He's a French man.
That does a bon voyage. That means get out of here. Or
Yeah,
go
I know,
have a good trip. Yeah.
Bon vivant.
Bon vivant. That's
Like a chatil.
that's like a chatil? What's a chatil?
Man who sits on top of the pile.
Am I a chatil?
You would be if you were on top of a pile.
Oh, okay. I guess I'm not on top of the
Anyway,
pile.
Scott, good to see you. You've had some battles with the hospital and you're okay. You're here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Isn't it funny? No, I don't think it's funny. Isn't it weird that all our friends, we talk about our medical conditions now?
Well, that's something we all have in common once you reach a certain longevity, let's say.
You have a way with words.
Yeah, away with those words. All right. I got some questions from the people.
Great.
Professor Sal
Did we
Permegia.
introduce? We got to get to Sal first. What did we say about this?
He says, what other jobs did the actors have while performing on the Uncle Floyd TV show? That's from Sal and Pam Permegia.
You can answer for yourself.
Well, I did lots of stuff. I worked in Ken's Magic Shop. I sold computers.
You ran Ken's Magic Shop.
Well, I was the manager. Yes, I was. And I sold computers after I left Ken's Magic Shop. And then I was a movie theater manager for a while.
That's what was a chain, right?
Yeah, that was it was Clearview Cinemas, which became Bowtie Cinemas.
And you charged us for the popcorn. I remember that day.
Yeah, popcorn was good. That was a secret recipe to that popcorn. So I did that. See, Muggsy was basically a performer and a technician. He worked in TV studios. Right? He worked for...
yeah, he would have been a good sound effects man, too.
He worked for Pat Marucki.
Right. OBC Studios.
And
Reckill Broadcasting Company, Nutley, New Jersey.
Yeah. Netto, well, when I first met Netto, he was working for a sheet metal company. He was delivering.
You're being polite.
And Charlie, well, I have no idea what Charlie did.
Neither does he.
And you're a performer. That's what you do.
I was showbiz.
Show business all the way.
Mr. Show Business.
That's right. Got a question here from Stephen Hanneman.
Wait, what happened? Okay, that was Sal Permegia's question.
All right, well, did we miss it? Well, Skip. Skip was a DJ, disc jockey, worked on several radio stations.
Right.
And
Weenie was a school teacher in Brooklyn, I think.
That's right. That's right. And she's also married to Jeff Friedman, who was our director.
Yep. Okay.
And let's see, who am I missing?
No, we'll figure it out eventually on the way home.
Yeah, we'll figure somebody out. All right. From Steve Hanneman. I love to hear the crew laughing. Sometimes when you do a skit or one of your puppets, it seems they're all genuinely laughing like they didn't know the jokes that you were going to do. Is that true?
Yep. That's why they laughed.
Most of the time we didn't know what we were going to say. We only had a general idea of what the sketch was going to be. We had the beginning and the end of it and the characters.
And a couple props.
Couple props, and whatever happened in the middle just kind of happened in the middle. From Dennis DeLeo.
Go ahead.
My favorite Uncle Floyd. Could you please tell us about the time you met Uncle Milty?
Milton Berle was great. I met him backstage at the... I was in his dressing room with him, and he kept calling me Floyd. He used my name all through the conversation. Well, Floyd, let me tell you this, Floyd. And it impressed me so much that he really cared.
That was the Club Benet.
Club Benet.
Yeah, I was there with you when that happened. What about Benny Bell? How did you meet Benny Bell?
At the bottom line, his grandson brought him to meet me. But my one daughter went to school with his granddaughter. They were in the same class together in Verona School.
His grandson was Joel.
Well, whatever, I can't remember that now, but...
From Susie Tannenbaum.
Oh, she's great. She writes good questions. Go ahead.
Did you once ask Joe DiMaggio what his favorite Italian dish was, and if so, what did he say?
I did ask him that, because I went up to him at Alex and Henry's in restaurant in White Plains. And I said that, the owner, I want to talk to Joe DiMaggio. Come on, say hello to Joe DiMaggio. I said, I don't know what to say. Ask him anything. I said, Joe, can I ask you a question? I said, Mr. DiMaggio, he said, you call me Joe. I had my Yankee jacket on and my Yankee hat. He knew I was a Yankee fan and nut. We talked for a few minutes, and that's how I met him. And
so what did he say his favorite dish was?
Can I ask you a question? He says, yes, you can. And his eyes went in the air like, here comes Marilyn Monroe or something. I said, no, it's got nothing to do with her. What is your favorite Italian food of all time? And he said, linguine marinati with vongolini. Those are special little clams you can only get in Italy, but you can get them here, but they're expensive. Baby clams, they look like.
Susie also wants to know what your favorite Italian dish is.
Whatever's being served. I have a tremendous appetite. It's almost dangerous, right, Scott?
Absolutely. Well, when we were coming back from shows every once in a while, we'd stop at a rest area or a diner or something like that. And we had this contest we did called Doing Days, where we'd go into the restaurant and order breakfast. And then we finish breakfast and we order lunch. After we finished with lunch, we'd order dinner. And whichever one of us could not finish the meal had to pay for it.
Check, yeah.
You won all the time.
Oh, yeah, I could out-eat anybody.
I don't think I won that contest once.
I ate more than you.
You definitely did. You also had a lot more energy than me, so you burned it up quicker. Next question comes from Dominic Nunziato, our buddy in Virginia.
Well, he's still there, huh? They didn't kick him out yet.
No, he didn't come back. He didn't come back. Every so often, you mention putting that in the book. Do you actually have plans to release a book?
Well, it hasn't been finished yet. It's taking longer than we thought to do it right. We have to check facts. My sons are working on it with me. Everybody's contributed to the book. Scott Gordon has a whole page, I think. Don't you, Scott?
I wrote more than one page. I think about 3 pages I got in there.
Well, we told you that to make you feel good. But we're only using 1 page.
Right. Another question from Susie Tannenbaum. Please tell us about Wild West City. How did you meet those people?
Well, they had an amusement park, Western themed. They called me on the phone and says, we understand you have a kiddie show and we'd like to advertise on it. So come on up. I went up there in my Uncle Floyd costume. And the cowboys started making fun of me, like, look at this city dandy. And Mrs. Stabile stopped them cold. So they cut it out. He's an entertainer. He's one of us. He's got a TV show. He's going to put us on TV. And that's how I met them. Stabile family, Stabile in Italian. Out of Nutley. They were road makers and construction people. And they bought the park. And the rest is history there. I played piano in a saloon for years. The Golden Nugget Saloon, I played piano there. They called me Fresno Floyd because of a conflict of interest thing, instead of Uncle Floyd.
All right, we got one here from. Looks like you're going to get some attention for a few minutes.
Go ahead.
See that? She's being nice. She's putting a pillow behind your head.
Who's this, Susie?
Madeline,
Oh, Madeline. Hello, Madeline. Where are you from, Madeline?
Dominican Republic.
La República Dominicana.
Así es.
So are your people baseball people?
Oh, yeah.
They have to be.
Oh, yes. My family, they're all,
Baseball nuts.
yes.
Do you know the first 3 Dominican players, who they were?
No.
In the outfield, the Alou brothers.
Really?
And they reported to spring training, and the manager says, who are you guys? They go, Alou, 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 Alou. That's my joke I wrote in 5th grade.
Really?
And it didn't get a laugh there either, but I'm still working on it.
Natalie, if you don't mind, we'll leave this in for the podcast when I put
Leave
it up.
leave it in. Why do you throw away the bathwater?
Who's throwing away the bathwater? I'm not doing that.
It's what you don't
It'll
want
be
is
on
what the
podcast
public
number
wants.
6.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, we got another question
Good.
from Susie Tannenbaum again, Wild West City. Let's see, what else? What did you do there over the years, and did you write the Wild West City theme song?
I wrote it instantly. I couldn't read music, so they gave me some music, and I said, I forgot my glasses. Can somebody tell me what's the first note here? And some cowboy came up and said, it's a D. Okay? And we did it, and we faked it. And I wrote the little melody. I'm going to Wild West City, which is similar to, I'm going to Kansas City, USA. Going to Kansas City, where the girlies never say nay, nay.
All right, now, let's see. This is from Tim Hanlon in Chicago, originally from Hohokus.
I wonder if he's part of the famous Hamlin Circus family.
I don't know.
And they ran the Steel Pier in Atlantic City.
Tim, send me an email. Let me know about that.
And I'm wondering if he was related to the Hamlins who brought the Beatles to the Steel Pier.
All right, well, he wants to know, what's the full story about you and Joe Franklin, who you hilariously portrayed as Joe Frankfurter?
He called me an anti-Semite in his book, which disturbed me tremendously because the last thing I would be considered is an anti-Semite. My affection for the Jewish people and the importance they played in my show is incomparable. Uncomparable, Scott? What's
Incomparable, that's a good word.
Incomparable. And my crew was almost all Jewish. They would never let me get away with such nonsense, and I would never even attempt it. So it bothered me, and I got all upset about it. I told all my Jewish friends about it, and they laughed. They said, you're taking this serious from Joe Franklin? I says, not me. What if my grandchildren someday read this about me? And I don't want them getting the wrong impression that I was this way. I was not that way. Matter of fact, there's questions about my Jewish lineage that my own grandnephews have done research on the internet about it, saying the original name was Levine. It became Vivino in Venice when the Jews were expelled from Spain.
Interesting. I wonder if there's a genealogical component there that can be proven. That would be an interesting thing to find out.
Yes, for me it would be interesting, but for the average person, I don't think they could care less. But I do. I care tremendously.
Well, he did sue us over that.
And you tell me, did you ever see anybody eat more knishes than me?
I've never seen anybody eat anything more than you.
What about my cheesecake? Jeff Friedman brings me cheesecake from a Jewish deli, which is out of this world.
How come he never brings that when I'm here?
I tell him you're not here that night.
I would like to enjoy that as well as you.
I thought you had diet restrictions.
I do.
You know,
That's not going to stop me. That's not going to stop me for cheesecake.
My mother always said, everything in moderation. It's an old saying.
That's the truth.
You can have cheesecake, you just can't eat half of the cake
Exactly.
in one sitting with one fork.
Just like you can't eat a whole package of sugar-free Twizzlers.
Oh, I did that on the air once, remember?
You never read the package. It said, don't eat any more than 5 of these. It'll give you intestinal distress. That was a surprise, wasn't it?
Yeah, I didn't even know what that meant, distress.
I thought it was something you wore.
I didn't wear a distress. I remember I was in a show with a woman and she kept saying, I'm in distress, I'm in distress. I said, well, come here, baby, you won't be in distress much longer. It was funny then. Gaslight Village, 1967.
We got somebody here who wants to test your baseball.
Go ahead, I love baseball. I'm a baseball nut.
What was the first and last name of the Yankees' second baseman around 1945?
Well, it wasn't Bobby Richardson, was much later, so 1945. Was it Sternweiss?
George Sternweiss, correct.
All right, I did pretty damn good, didn't I?
Yeah.
Why don't you ever give me a compliment? You never said, gee, Floyd, that's pretty damn good.
I did. I said, that's great. I said, you got it, George Sternweiss.
All right, go ahead. Next question.
What was the nickname of the second baseman at that time?
Push him up. Tony Lazzari.
No, George Sternweiss's nickname.
What was it? I can't remember.
Stuffy. Okay? Joe DiMaggio played center field for the Yankees. Who played center field for the Boston Red Sox at the same time?
Ted Williams.
Dominic DiMaggio.
Oh, that's right.
Dominic DiMaggio. And one last question. Who was the bullpen coach when the Phillies won the National League pennant in 1950?
Jim Constantine?
Nope.
Who?
Ken Silvestri.
Oh, I wouldn't have got that.
Ken Silvestri. And that question came from Jim Silvestri.
Oh, Jim Silvestri's a nut. I mean, a baseball nut is a great compliment.
Absolutely.
I hope he doesn't take that wrong.
He's also related. Ken Silvestri, Jim Silvestri.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, Silvestri is a common Italian last name.
I liked Wild West City. Wild West City was a lot of fun.
175 acres.
And the shows were so well constructed. And those guys were so good. They would play the background tape and they would just go. They knew exactly what they were doing. They were very, very
informative,
well-trained stunt people.
Oh, yeah. Informative.
And we had them on the show a couple times. And
they got us the broken bottles, the bottles that break when you hit them on somebody's head. Remember those?
No, they didn't get those. I bought those. They told me where to get them, and I got them.
And then you got me with the bill.
Yeah, I think I still have one of those bottles left.
Well, use it on your head when you go home tonight.
No, maybe I'll use that on the Tuesday night thing sometime.
All right, good.
You know, this was the Uncle Floyd Show, where we show old clips of the show and talk about it.
Yeah, everybody keeps saying, when are you going to show old clips of the show? When we do, nobody watches.
We show old clips of the show every Tuesday night, and there's a whole bunch of people come and watch it on StageIt. StageIt.com.
Hundreds of people, right?
Well, about 100 people. About 100 people come. There's plenty of room. Anybody wants to come, go to stageit.com/SGE-IN as in Nancy C. And you come right to the show and watch it. We have a great time. People talk about the show. I answer questions about the show. I host it live every Tuesday night at 8 p.m.
And we give them
Eastern.
a chance to talk. We give them a chance to, and Scott put it all together technically, which should be mentioned because I cannot do anything. I can't even turn on a DVD player. I have no technical ability.
Oh, you have a technical ability. You can turn a light switch on, right?
Yep, but that's not funny and it's not true.
It's not true? You can't put a light switch on?
I don't what? Can't put lights on with John. What did you say?
You can't turn a light switch on?
I can't turn a light switch on? Yes, I can.
Okay, that's what I said. What else you want to talk about today? That's all the questions we got.
In the news, we usually don't do this, but everybody's complaining that the young people can't buy a house anymore. I have the reason why, and nobody asked me. Nobody said, why can't young people buy a house? I said, because they don't buy starter homes anymore.
We did this last time.
We did this last week?
Yep.
What do? You go home and listen to the show?
I go home and I put the show out. Of course, I listen to it before I send it out.
All right.
In case one of us curses or something.
All right. Oh, shit. You can say that now on TV and radio. I hear it all the time. I don't choose to use that language.
No, I don't use that language anymore.
Not on television.
Anybody who says stuff like that's an asshole.
A jackass.
Jackass.
Jacksass.
I always like that term. That's much better.
How long have you had that shirt?
This shirt? Maybe about 5 years.
Did you ever change it or?
Ever change it? Yeah, I change my shirts. If I didn't change my shirts, it would turn to rags. The stuff I do. I had some fun this week.
Well, tell us about it.
Don't
let us guess.
The landscapers were blowing the leaves outside my house.
Right.
And they hit a twig and it went through the basement window, put a big hole in it. So I had to have the basement window repaired.
Well, you could have called Safeguard, one of our sponsors.
Well, Safeguard does cars. They don't do...
Oh, that's all they do?
Yeah, they don't do...
Well, tell them a car drove through the window.
No, I got a friend named Byron, who's a handyman. He comes over, he does stuff for me.
With a name like Byron?
Byron.
Usually his name would be Max or Philip. Tony.
Byron Garcia.
Byron Garcia.
Nice guy.
I wonder if he was related to Pancho Garcia. You
mean Sergeant Garcia?
Sergeant Garcia, that's right.
What was your favorite cowboy show on TV?
It depended on how old I was, but initially it was Rawhide, Gunsmoke, all the classics. I didn't like Rifleman because they had Brooklyn accents. I thought it was terrible.
What about Gene Autry?
I liked him. His songs, too. Smiley Burnett carried a lot of the weak bits.
My favorite one was Gabby Hayes. I like Gabby Hayes.
You could do a good imitation. Let's hear a little Gabby Hayes. Hello, Gabby. Welcome to the show, the podcast.
Hey, Floyd. How you doing? What's going on? I got allowed my horse outside. He's out there now.
What does your horse eat?
What does a horse eat?
He eats like a horse.
Eats grains. Eats no hot dogs or nothing like that. Eats grains. Eats
peanuts.
Yeah. Oh, he loves peanuts. Yeah.
They love peanuts. I don't know why. You have to shell them for him, though.
No, he eats the shell and all, just like you used to do.
Remember I used to eat the shells of the peanuts?
Yeah, peanut shells and everything. That was amazing. All right. I think we got enough for today.
That's the only questions?
Say good evening to all the people.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome, and thanks for being part of this again and again. We're really late with getting the thank you notes out in the mail from the when I was in the hospital. And we don't like to play up the fact that I went to the hospital, because every one of you go to the hospital sooner or later. It's no big deal.
So we'll see everybody next time.
Which is next, whenever they find us.
And if you got a question you want us to answer, just send it in to ufpodcast@sge-inc.com. And we get it, and Floyd will answer your questions.
On the air, on the podcast.
Right here, right now. Next time, for number 7. We'll see you then.
Thank you, folks. Thank you for your kind comments and your dedication to this, whatever we call it. Uncle Floyd.
The Uncle Floyd podcast is what we call it.
Why do you have to be so snippet with me?
It's my job.
Oh, okay. Tuesday at 8, we have a date.
Tuesday at 8, we have a date for This Was the Uncle Floyd Show. And keep your eye on the podcast subscription, and you'll know when the next one of these comes up. They'll let you know. And if you want to tell your friends how to get here, just tell them to go to unclefloyd.podbean.com. That's PODBEAN.com. And if you want to send us an email with a question, just send it to ufpodcast@sge-inc.com. And it gets right to me, and I bring it over here, read to Floyd. We answer your questions about the show or anything about show business. Any part of show business, we'll be glad to answer.
Very good.
All right. So, see everybody next time.
At Tuesday, we have a date.
This program was produced in the studios of Scott Gordon Enterprises, Incorporated in Paramus, New Jersey.